Hey YouTube, what is up? It's CS back here with another installment, and here is my review of episode 30 of Deadliest Warrior. This one was between Crazy Horse and Pancho Villa. Now, what can I say? I guess an American finally lost on this one. Technically, he's not American, but he was in that geographical area. You know, Crazy Horse, of course. Yeah, he's vicious as hell, but clearly he was not equipped as well as Pancho Villa was. Pancho Villa, you know, close range, he had a better blade. You'd rather have that than a stick and a rock. And then, you know, in long range, he had, you know, the more functional rifle. He had a better rifle with the Winchester over the Henry of Crazy Horse. Now, what can I say? I did pick Pancho Villa to win, and he did. He won the areas that I thought he would. And I thought that the X Factors would be relatively even. But, you know, Pancho Villa won out there, you know, his superior logistics, you know, him being able to treat his dudes and him having his supply line, you know, was more superior to Crazy Horse's, because Crazy Horse and his goons of, you know, the Oglala Lakota, they would have to, you know, scavenge and scurry and try to get their own shit, where, you know, Pancho had basically a lot of shit to his disposal. You know, his folks were trained as well. You know, he pretty much had it made for a revolution, which is why he was successful. He also had, you know, the audacity thing for him. That was higher than Crazy Horse, although I'm pretty sure Crazy Horse was rated high in that area too. I'll get to that later. But let's get to some weapons tests first. Let's start off with long range with the Winchester of Pancho Villa versus Crazy Horse and his Henry rifle. Alrighty folks, so on one side we have the 1860 Henry of Crazy Horse. Now, nice gun. It had a 15 round magazine. Clearly it wasn't as functional as, say, you know, the Winchester that Pancho Villa was packing. Now, the 1894 Winchester, it was, you know, it was easy to cock. Also 10 rounds, kind of deficient there in terms of capacity to the Winchester, to the Henry, but the thing is that it had a shorter barrel, more compact, easier to fire off horseback. And yeah, you know, that's what we saw, although it was a 3 for 5 for Pancho's guy on horseback, 3 for 5 for Moses Brings Plenty, you know, for Crazy Horse. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, Pancho's shooter, Fernando Vasquez, I think he had better play shots, and that's probably due to the fact that his gun was more friendlier on horseback. Also, yeah, Mac mentioned it being more functional and durable. Durable to the fact that, yeah, it is easy to jam the Henry compared to the Winchester. We saw the Henry jam in the first test, too, when they're shooting away with their maximum round capacity at 4 targets. You know, sure, they both only got 40%, but one had a jam, and that jam could happen within any of those 1 to 15 rounds. And yeah, jams aren't a good look at all for me. Like, it was pretty clear that you had to get to the Winchester just there, just because it didn't jam. But they did the other tests anyway. They were pretty even there for me. The jam was the deciding factor. I think it was, and that's why it had a 54 to 46 ratio on its side. So yeah, edge to the 1894 Winchester repeating rifle for Pancho Villa. Now moving on to, medium range weapons between 2 Colts. You know, Colt revolvers. No one fucks with the Colt, you know, when it comes to revolvers. These things are sick. On one side, you got the Colt Bisley for Pancho Villa, and then you have the 1873 Colt Single Action Army for Crazy Horse. Now, that shit, you know, when I think of Colt, I think of that one. Long-ass barrel, you know, accurate for a 6-shooter, and that was when we did see that test go. You know, sure, it didn't pack the punch that the Colt Bisley did, but that worked out to its benefit because it was more damaging when it hit you. And when he was firing that shit, goddamn, like, you know, he avoided the horse, which was part of the task. He did hit 5 out of 5 targets, left 2 bullets in one, and 3 of those, you know, dummies were killed. So, nice shooting on the side of Moses Brings Plenty. Santiago Villalobos on the side of Pancho Villa. He was alright too. You know, he avoided the horse as well. He got 5 shots on 5 targets, and he had 1 shot missed, and I believe he only killed 2 of them. So, you know, what can I say? He did all right. You know, he hit he hit everyone, but the thing is that task is to get the horse, and there's 3 goons that might potentially stop you from getting the horse because they're not exactly dead. So, you know, maybe he would have equaled Moses Brings Plenty if he did connect with the 1 other shot, but he didn't. And that's why the 1873 Colt got the edge over the Colt Bisley. You know, the Bisley had a bigger hammer, which suited Pancho Villa due to the fact that he had rheumatoid arthritis. That was easier to grip and hold down. So it was a very functional gun. You know, it wasn't assigned to the Union or any army at the time. It was just for marksmen. You know, it was basically a special edition gun. And yeah, I like its design. I like what it does. But I like how it's functional like that. But the 1873 Colt, you know, we got to favor accuracy here. And it was a tad bit more accurate because it did get the kill shots. And that's what you're trying to do in Deadliest Warrior. And which test demonstrated the better killer. I mean, which gun demonstrated it being the better killer in this test, and that was the 1873 Colt. So you kind of have to go with it. Edge, 1873 Colt, Crazy Horse. Alright, now let's move on to short-range weapons. We have the Inya Kapemni of Crazy Horse, that club, and then we have Pancho Villa's Bolo knife. Now, the Bolo knife, yeah, more surface area, more durable. It's a blade. Yeah, it's a better killer. That war club, the Inya Kapemni, you know, it's a stick and a ball. It's stick and a rock. It broke in the test. It broke in the sim. It made sense. You know, what would you rather kill someone with? The Inya Kapemni is only a kill shot if you go for the head, where you can make someone bleed out. Say if you, you know, cut him in the chest or cut him, you know, in the gut with that Bolo knife. That Bolo knife's a nasty knife, man. It's you know, it was a Mexican machete. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a nice knife, and Santiago Villalobos was able to cut that thing's head off in 2 shots. It was pretty good. So what can I say? Bolo knife to edge. That one was easy. All right, y'all. Now moving on, we have X Factors to look at. Now, I thought they'd be relatively even in X Factors. In terms of categories, they were. Audacity and Logistics went to Pancho Villa, while Crazy Horse took Tactics and Disease. Disease makes sense. You know, Crazy Horse kind of avoided, you know, the epidemics of that time. And Pancho Villa had, you know, severe insomnia, and he was a victim of rheumatoid arthritis. Not a good look, and if you're a warrior, you really don't want that shit, and that's why he got a 44 compared to the 73 of Crazy Horse. Now, Crazy Horse also had tactics on his side, you know, hit and run guerrilla tactics of the Plains Indians of that Oglala Lakota tribe. Yeah, them getting tactics makes sense. You know, everyone in that geographical area who's ran through there, you know, any settler has pretty much eventually adopted guerrilla tactics. And what can I say? Native American Indians are the best at it. So yeah, hit and run tactics for the win for Native American Indians. They got an 85 compared to Pancho Villa's 81. You know, Pancho Villa, you know, he wasn't stupid. You know, he pulled off them El Golpe Terrificos, although you couldn't exactly portray that in the sim. You had Crazy Horse and his goons, you know, pretty much hiding and waiting and striking. And we saw that done in the sim. I thought that was pretty good. And then for Pancho Villa, the X Factors he had Audacity, which makes sense. You know, he took on the United States head on. He initiated that shit. So what can I say? Audacity for him getting a 91 compared to Crazy Horse's 84. Guess it's fair. And then the logistics, pretty much the deciding factor in this match. Pancho Villa, you know, that guy's probably not going to run out of rounds. And, you know, he pretty much had what he needed to start a revolution. So, what can I say? That's why he scored with an 87 compared to Crazy Horse's 54. This guy even packed hospitals in his trains, you know. Pancho Villa, you know, he had it right. You know, you wanted to start a revolution in Mexico, you do it like this guy. So, Pancho Villa getting logistics made sense. Crazy Horse, on the other hand, dude, he's an Indian using Settler's weapons. He's not going to have what he needs at all times. So, yeah, it makes sense why he got scored into 50s in logistics. So, what can I say? That severely debilitated him in terms of him having a chance to win this shit. And, yeah, the deficiency in Henry didn't exactly help with that gem. And him having lacking resources, logistics scoring low, that doesn't help. And yeah, it ended up being a 53 to 47% victory for Pancho Villa. I was thinking around 55-45 for Pancho Villa like usual. I guess I'm close. But yeah, I just think that Pancho would dominate in terms of the long range and the short range. And I thought he'd be able to hang with Crazy Horse in the X Factors. He did dominate in long and short range, and he actually got the better of the X Factors that mattered. And that's why he won this one. So what can I say? I called it. Pretty happy. Pretty cool episode. Yeah, what can I say? I had fun watching it. I'm sorry, guys, that I didn't get this review out early enough. I was actually at a concert yesterday. I had a Within Temptation concert. I'm not sure if you guys listen to that shit, but I had a blast. But, I missed a cool episode, and I finally got around to seeing it not too long ago. Now this review's coming out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Tell me what you guys thought of the episode in the comment section below. Tell me what you think of my review. Do you agree with the decision? Give me a thumbs up if you do. If you don't agree, give me a thumbs down. My links are in the bottom in the description below. And I guess I'll see you soon for a preview of the finale next week with the French Foreign Legion and Gurkhas and the Vampires versus Zombies. You can tell me what you think about those matchups in the comment section below as well. So stay tuned for that shit. Again, please rate, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for all the support. I will see you later, so take care.